Hey guys, it's your boy Owl Thunder. I am back with the Miku V6 attack. In this video, we're going to crack the code on how Deco27 gets that awesome Miku sound on his viral smash monitoring. First off, here I'm in Vocaloid 6 and I'm going to show you how it sounds. Here's the verse. This video is going to be a lot of fun, so stick with me to the end. First thing to do here, we need to download the instrumental track. So if here it is up on top, let me just drag it down so we can see it with our working files here. Here it is. Here's the verse. Right, and this is Deco27's original instrumental. It's at 132 BPM, and it's good to import it onto the grid. You want to make sure that your Vocaloid 6 project is in the same tempo as the song, okay? And then here's the chorus. The next step is importing the MIDI files. Just so we know what we're looking at over here on my screen, I colored them all the teal color. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 files here that we have. The top one, this one over here, is the lead melody. When we import them, we actually take Deco27's title over here, lead mellow, lead harmony, one mellow, and so forth on here. So it looks like the first, if we double click the region, we'll go inside and then we'll see all the notes here already placed in. Let's hear it. And Vocaloid is so fun. You don't have to be a musician. You don't have to be a pro. You can jump into it at any point and just start doing Vocaloid covers. It just takes practice. Here's our strategy. This is what I recommend. Input your lyrics first and then focus on dynamics like timing and little nuances. And then lastly, the effects. Okay, got it? So lyrics, dynamics, and effects. Our lyric sheet here, right? I just pasted the lyrics from monitoring in a notepad. It's in Japanese. We have a mixture of kanji, hiragana, and katakana. You can either copy and paste the whole batch or input one at a time. Just for tutorial purposes, we're going to input one at a time. Let's change my keyboard to Japanese. Ne, right? A, tashi, ta, shi. Okay? After entering a few lyrics, you want to play back just to make sure you got the placing right. Okay, so let's hear that. It's pretty fast. Ne atashi shitteru yo. Okay, so shi. Right? So just one by one. And by doing this, you can pick up and learn a lot of things, like little by little about like the editing tools and the strategy and the workflow. You can really see how notes are arranged and how lyrics come together. Let's hear that back. Okay, cool. It's sounding good. I'll do a few more and then we'll fast forward in time. Shitteru kimi ga hitori. So in this case, we can highlight a batch here and see if it works. Sometimes it'll take it, but sometimes if you go on too much and if there's one or more or less notes than you have lyrics, then you can run into trouble. So in this case, I'm going to copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 characters starting from yo. Okay, let's see if I paste it over here. You see how that it's pasted everything, but when I hit enter, it's going to spread out all the way to the extent of the notes respectively. There it is. Let's see if it worked. Nice. So let's hear it with the beat. Okay, cool. And that's how I would do it. Now, this is probably, gotta be honest with you, since I already did it, it's gonna be entering the whole lyrics, all the lyrics for the whole song, very carefully, probably about 30 to 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, so be patient with it. But in that hour, you can pick up a lot of things and really know the song, know the lyrics, know the timing and the feel and the spirit of the song. And it also helped me to analyze Deco 27's rhythm and his spirit and his songwriting style. And you can really learn about Miku's range, right? Where she sounds good in and where she sounds too nasally or too high-pitched or too low. You can kind of feel the spirit of Miku. Let's jump to the chorus just so I can show you a few more lyric inputting techniques. Let's see if works. It doesn't. Probably moi. Ooh, maybe ooh. Yeah, okay. Ooh. I think it's gonna work. What did I put here? I want to find out what I did in my finished version. What did I do? I did Japanese. I did and wa. Okay, so let's do that. Let's check out what she did over here. Where is that? Oh, well, actually, if you look over here, it says wa. I know the Japanese phonetics, hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Switch back to Japanese. Right? And then wa. It's just wa in Japanese, right? Okay, cool. So it jumps right into the lyrics. Where are we at? Onegai, kimi ga hoshii no. It's very fast. O negai, onegai. You see, the thing is, whenever you get MIDI files from anyone, it might be short some notes. Or you might have an excess amount of notes. We downloaded this from Deco 27's Otoro site. So this is like the official assets, right, for you to do your own lyric videos and do your own covers. And it comes with this MIDI file. But as we can see here, it's missing, like if you wanted to do the exact Japanese version with another character, like Teto or something. If you wanted to do that, we're still missing something. So I'm going to have to add in another character, a syllable, which is E. Because the lyric is actually onegai. So here we go. Oh, let's solo that so we know what's going on. Onegai. Okay, and it's a little long. It's a little short, so here we go. Here we go. Okay, cool. Onegai kimi ga hoshii no. Okay. So we'll do just double click and type in your character. Okay. Ho 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 hoshii shi no. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Great news. We've got all of the lyrics inputted in. It took about 45 minutes to an hour or so with a break. Let's give it a first listen. Next up is the dynamics, the spirit, the nuance. So let's click expression for number 6, shortcut, and then highlight every single one of these notes by pressing Command A. If I zoom in here, this green horizontal line represents the expression. And there's 3 points. Here's the first point. It's a leading expression. And then the middle expression and the following expression. What does this exactly mean? This is basically like the start of the word, the attack, the middle, right? The sound, maybe even the sustain if you like, and then the ending. And this is all referring to volume, like how loud do you want the volume to be? For this song, we're going to make the attack strong, so it goes from 0 to 100. And it's affecting all of them because I have all of the notes selected, just for simplicity for this tutorial. All right, so 100 for the attack. We want a hard, loud attack, right? Snappy, edgy, gritty attitude. And then for the middle expression, let's keep it loud, but not as loud. Let's try 88, okay? So we've got a loud attack at the end. We'll bring it down to 43. So that's our shape. It's kind of like a ramped shape. There it is. And it's pretty loud. It's pretty consistent. Keeping it simple, that's all we're going to do. Right? Let's hear that. So right away, I kind of hear her feistiness come out, right? She's just got more presence, more depth, more Miku. You can feel Miku's soul, if you will. Now, this is region-based. So as long as I selected all wherever I was, it only affects the notes in that region. So that was the first verse. I have to go click on every region and do the same thing because I have regions separated. And it's good to have different regions. Why? Because we want to apply different effects to different regions. Regions are the containers. So if I'm not looking at these notes, if I'm just looking at the green, these containers here, regions or clips. Inside these clips are notes. So let me do that to this second region, right? Select all. Press the number 6 on your keyboard, you get the horizontal line. So let's bring the initial attack or the leading expression up to 100, the middle to about 88 or so, okay? And then this one to 45. Try 45. We're now going to jump into the effects. The first effect that we're going to hear with Miku is that iconic megaphone sound. The effects in Vocaloid 6 are very, very basic and very hard to dial in with precision. But with that all said, we're going to challenge ourselves and stay within Vocaloid 6 and do our best. We love the program, we love the app, and we want to support Miku. Let's do it. Let's give it our best shot. We're going to add effects here. On the track, we're going to hit this E button over here. Press the E button. We get this blank box here. So we're going to add our effects. As a producer, as a mixer, this is what I would do. This is the exact order of how I would add the effects to try to get that megaphone sound in Vocaloid 6. Let's add distortion, then EQ, then compressor, followed by gain, reverb, and delay. Let's open this up. And here's exactly how I would set this up in my DAW as well, trying to get a manual megaphone sound. This is a really neat experiment because we're going to build our megaphone from scratch. Let's turn off all of them first so we can add them one by one. So if I crank it up here, just so you know what the sound is actually sounding like. Okay, so that's what we don't want, right? That's the distortion. So let's bring the distortion just to 1. Keep it simple. Now let's add our EQ. By pressing the button, it engages the effect. It has a low cut, so I'm going to keep the low cut. We want a megaphone sound. We added distortion. We're going to cut the low frequency and cut some of the high frequency. So there's a low cut button, and then I'm going to also, there's a low shelf over here, and I'm going to bring it up to about 250-ish. If you're trying to find a frequency to boost or to cut, you've got to find the frequency. You have to kind of hear it exaggerated so that we can identify it and then cut. Always want to cut frequencies first, like remove lower frequencies before adding anything. So hearing this real quick, I want to boost around 1 to 2K-ish. Rule of thumb is you want to remove or cut first. So I want to cut the mud. So maybe 300 to 400, because if by doing that, it'll automatically bring the energy into the mid and high frequencies. So that way I won't have to add as much, because adding adds more artifacts. Bring it to about 300 or so. And then cutting around 5 dB or so, I'll start there. Right below it, there's a Q button. Q meaning like the range. How wide do you want the frequencies to be affected? Do you want a narrow bandwidth or a more wider cut? Let's hear this. Beautiful, beautiful. Just a little wider on this Q. And then I'm going to boost. Let's see where I want to boost. I'm going to play it back and then boost some frequencies to just feel out the sound. Let's do around 2K. That seems to be the money spot. And if 2K is the money spot, I'll back down just a hair to like 1.8, 1.9. And gain, how much gain? It's going to be very moderate. Let's do a 3. Rule of thumb, boost no more than 3 to 6 dB. Like 6 is very, very extreme. 2 to 3 dB is moderate. Cool, I like it. And now let's do, there's one more knob we have here, which is the high frequency. What should we do? Let me hear it first. Should we give it a little more high end? Because I know some of the high end was lost when we added this distortion. So I'll add 2 dB at around 13. Let's see. I'll deactivate it just to hear what I did. It's always good to A-B. Cool. So I like that. Without distortion. With distortion. With EQ. It's good enough for me. It sounds like a megaphone. Let's go to our compressor. I know this compressor a lot, and it's kind of a weak compressor. Let me dial in what I need. A higher ratio, a higher threshold. Release, let's bring it down. Attack, let's be careful on the attack. Don't bring it too low because then you cut off her transients, her attack. We don't want to smash her attack. We want a very short burst of energy to come through before the compressor attacks. That gives it the edge. So compressors are known to squash dynamics, but at the same time, if you dial in the right amount of compression, more importantly, the attack, you can let that burst of energy come right through before the compressor actually activates, which creates a nice snapping sound, which is just awesome. Here it is. Cool. I already added my gain over here because we lost volume. Let's add reverb. Reverb, I know what I want. Let's take it down. To hear the reverb in action, let's boost it so we know what the reverb sounds like first. Okay, cool. And I'm going to gradually bring it down so that it's very subtle. And that's the key to adding effects, to making it transparent, to making it so that you're not really hearing the effect, but we're feeling it. You know, it becomes part of the music, breathes with the rhythm. So that's what we're aiming for here. Here we go. Cool. I got it down to 13%, right? Maybe I'll bring it down to 10%. Yeah. There we go. Just so it's very, very, you can't really detect it, but it's part of the energy. It's part of the environment, the ambience. All right, delay. I know what I want, right? We want kind of a slapback sound. Slapback means basically more of a stereo image, right? Because we've got one single vocal track of Miku. So far at this point, of course, there's background tracks and there's harmonies. For this case, I'm going to dial in 75 milliseconds on the left and 125 on the right. And just to give you an idea of how that sounds, let's boost it first. The dry wet knob I'm talking about. We'll crank it up, exaggerate it so you can hear the effect. Right, kind of has a quick echo burst like she's bouncing between walls or something like that. So that's at 71. So let's bring it down to 15%. And that should give us a kind of transparent, almost like invisible energy that we can feel that becomes part of the music. It just sits better with the mix when you have reverb and delay. Secret sauce. Let's bring it down to 15%. Here we go. I think it's done. Let's unsolo this and hope for the best. And that was probably the hardest part, but we did it. We got as close as we can in Vocaloid 6. After the first verse, everything else just has a basic full frequency Miku, or at least fuller than the Megaphone sound. So let's go over to the second verse. What we have to do here is split the track. So let's duplicate this track. Why? Because the first verse has the Megaphone. So what I'm going to do is I duplicated it, delete everything else, and on the second track, let's just call it lead mellow 2, where we have lead mellow 1, right? Lead mellow 1, meaning melody 1. And in Japanese, A mero to B mero. So over here, it's going to be easier because now I don't need the distortion, so I can remove the distortion starting from the second verse. So I copied and pasted the track so that I can have the same effects that I used, but minus the distortion. So let's take off the distortion and EQ. Let me reset this EQ. Take it off and put it back on. But it's at the end, right? Here's something that I really like about this. You can reorder your effects really easily. For my EQ, here it is. I kind of know what I want. I just added a low cut and a low shelf cut. Let's do minus 3.7, maybe 400. It's so small. I'm really squinting over here. They need to make the font bigger here. Okay, so let's hear it. I like it already. It feels really good. I think we're almost there. Let's hear it, the first verse going into the chorus, because that's kind of important, right? The first verse has the Megaphone sound. The second verse opens up. So here we go. All right, here comes the second verse and the dip. Nice. Nice, nice. Let's bring down this instrumental track just a hair, volume-wise. Let's bring in the harmony so you can hear how the harmony sounds with everything, okay? So let's start from verse 2 to the end of the chorus. Let's enjoy what we've done together here, and I hope you got something out of this. Here we go. With the harmony. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm really happy with how that turned out. I mean, we went pretty much from 0 to hero, I hope. Let me know what you guys thought. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe, and please drop me a comment. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. All right, I am Owl Thunder, and I'll see you guys soon.